So this is a short paper, ICSE class 10th, paper held on 6 December 2021, semester 1, the MCQ question. We'll go through each of the question in detail. You'll also find the answers. You'll also get few shortcuts to how to solve these kind of equations, these kind of questions. First question, fairly simple. X plus 2 is a factor. Therefore, if I put x plus 2 is equal to 0, x is equal to minus 2 in this polynomial, then whole of this polynomial should become equal to 0. And I solve for k, and the answer is B. So, this is the correct answer. Question number 2. Solution set of the inequation. Again, simple question, just solve this inequation. X belongs to R. Therefore, x is greater than or equal to minus 2. X belongs to R. Therefore, C is the correct answer. Okay. Question number 3. The order of a matrix is written as row into column. This is how the order of a matrix is written as. Now, what they are asking us is product of two matrices A and B. So, let me assume that order of A is M cross N. Now, if AB exists, then the condition is that this should be equal to this. What is this? This is the column of A. What is this? This is the row of B. Therefore, the column of A should be equal to the row of B, and therefore B is the correct answer. Again, for this question, if you understand the order of a matrix, then it's a simple question. We are given this AP, first 4, these are the first 4 terms. We need the 10th term. The 10th term would be A plus 10 minus 1 into D. And just put in the values. A is 70. The common difference is 5. Therefore, the answer is C. Question again. Excluding GST, the selling price is 800. What is GST? GST is 12%. So 12% of this would be 896. The total amount. This is the shirt base price. This is when GST is added to it. So 896 would be the total price. Question number 6. Which of the following quadratic has 2 and 3 as its roots? See, one way of doing this question is that you put 2 and 3 in all these equations. And if you are lucky, then you will find the answer to be A or B. But better way of doing this question is that, remember, if alpha and beta are roots of a quadratic equation, then the equation is given by x minus alpha into x minus beta is equal to 0. And I just put the value of 2 and 3 here. I saw this. A is my correct answer. I hope you understood. Just remember that's it. Question 7. These 4 are in proportion. Therefore, this upon this would be equal to this upon this. I solve for x. The answer is A. Simple question, not very tough. Okay, question number 8. Again, if you understand the base formula, that the maturity amount is whatever principal that you have given plus the interest on this amount. So the first term in this formula is the principal that you have given, the total principal that you have given to the bank, and this is the interest amount. So now let us go through the question. He is depositing 1000 rupees per month. So this is the P. In 2 years, therefore 2 into 12 is 24. And this is the amount that he has received on maturity. I'm spending some time on this formula just because there is another question, so we won't be spending much time in that. So I hope you have understood how this formula works. Now what he is telling me is that he has received this much amount on maturity. So this is my maturity amount. This is the principal that I've given. And if I subtract my maturity amount and the total principal that I've given, this would be the interest that he has earned. So that is why it would be the correct answer. Okay, pretty simple. This upon this is equal to this upon this. This upon this is equal to this upon this. Then BAC, this angle is equal to EDF, this angle. So of course, this would be SAS. Elementary similarity problem. We understand that this is an identity matrix. This is an identity matrix. So when we multiply, the answer would be C part. I hope you know how to multiply the matrices. Question number 11. This is a polynomial. This has to be divided by this so that the remainder remains this. Again, this is similar to the first question that we did. I'm dividing by x plus 1. So x plus 1 would be equal to 0. X is equal to minus 1. When I put the value of minus 1 here, the remainder should be 20. So this would be the equation that I will form. I will solve for A. My answer will be D part. Question number 12. I am given a EP. The first term is given, the common difference is given, the nth term is minus 7, and find the value of n. Basically, I am given the t nth. So t nth formula is a plus n minus 1 into d. Equate that to be equal to minus 7. Put the value of a and d and solve for n. The answer would be 7. Sorry, the answer would be 5. So this is the correct answer. Okay. Question number 13. See, I have parallel lines because in parallel lines, this is the transversal. Therefore, this angle would be equal to this angle, and this angle would be equal to this angle. Of course, this angle is equal to this angle because they are vertically opposite angles. Then I find the corresponding sides. The corresponding sides, usually when I do these questions, I mark the corresponding sides. So these are the corresponding sides I mark. So PO is my circled corresponding sides. PO is my circled corresponding sides. PO upon OR. Then OQ and OT, the crossed one, are my second pair of corresponding sides. Then the only left are this one, PQ and PR. This is what I've written here. So basic similarity problem, not very tough. Again, there is a good question which is based on similarity. I think around the end of this paper we'll discuss that also. So this one again is a basic question. If A upon B is equal to C upon D, they are proportional. And A plus B upon A minus B of course would be equal to this. So T is the correct answer. Okay. First four terms of AP are given. Sorry, first four terms of AP are required. The first term is 4, and the common difference is minus 6. So see, I've used this. I've done the whole of the process. You can skip the process, and what you can do is just look at the solutions, whichever satisfies. So first term is 4. First term is 4 and all the common difference is minus 6. Because common difference is minus 6, this one and this one is out of picture. So common difference is minus 6. So 4 minus 6 is a minus 2. So of course the answer will be C. So this is one way. The other way is you can follow the process and then you can find the solution. Great. Question number 16. So you solve for this. You solve. Okay, one of the roots is given. The root of the equation correct to the 4 significant digits is B. Now you need to understand what are significant digits if you want to do this question. So question number 17. X plus 2, x plus 3 are the factors of this polynomial. If this is completely factorized, the result would be, see in this question, x plus 2 and x plus 3 are given to be the factors. So this and this are automatically eliminated. The only choices that I have is these two. Now out of this, if x is equal to 1 and x is equal to minus 1, this is what I need to check. How do I check? I put the value of x is equal to 1 here. X is equal to 1 here will never make this polynomial a 0. It will never make it 0 because all the signs are positive. So it is only minus 1 which will make this 0. And basically what we are trying to check is whether x plus 1 is a factor of the polynomial. It would be a factor of the polynomial if and only if x minus 1, when you put in this polynomial, the answer is 0. I hope you have understood what has been discussed now. So the correct answer is D. No need of dividing and going into the full process because this is MCQ based question paper. Sum of first term terms, this A is 2, common difference is 2, my formula is n by 2, twice of A plus n minus 1 into D. Solve the value. The answer is C. Great. Question 19. Solution set of the linear inequation. I'll have to solve this. I've done it here. I have to solve this. That is here. Remember that y belongs to natural number. So because y is greater than equal to 2, so 2 will be included. Of course, 2 would be included. Y is less than 8, so 7 would be the last number. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. B is the correct answer. Simple. Okay. This was a bit tricky, but if you have done Selena problems, this is almost like one of the problems that is given in Selena. So because they are in continual proportion, then x upon y is equal to y upon z is equal to k. I find the value of x and I find the value of y. Then what I do is I get the value of x purely in terms of z and k. So if you see here, y is equal to zk, x is equal to zk square. Basically what I'm doing is I'm reducing this expression purely in terms of z and k. This is what I've done here. You can go through the working. You can go through the working to understand how this question is done. The final answer would be z upon x. Final answer would be z upon x. So A is the correct answer. I hope it is clear. Basically, you will get the value of 1 k square here. Just remember that 1 upon k square is z upon x. Okay. Question number 21. You are given marked price 5,000. You are given a discount 10%. So out of 5,000, first you subtract this 10% discount which has been given on 5,000. Yeah. Then you find the answer. This is the answer. Then you levy the GST on this. Then you add to this so that you have the final bill amount, that is 50/40. So A is the correct answer. The working is given for your reference. You can go through the same. Question 22. This is an easy question. Just requires some time. So 5 times A. Basically, you have to multiply each terms with 5. So this is my 5 times A. This is what I have done. Minus BC. Now you have to multiply B and C. I hope you know how to multiply B and C. Then you subtract them. Final answer will be D. Question number 23. This is a bit involved question. Simple question, but a bit involved. Not difficult question. It's almost same like the question we have done before. Because it is a trapezium, these two lines are parallel. Therefore, this angle is equal to this angle, and this angle is equal to this angle, and of course, this angle is equal to this angle. Once you have marked the equal angles, just mark the corresponding sides also. I have done these. These are the corresponding sides. It always helps to make the pairs. So the first question is, I'll have to zoom out. Yeah. So the first question is again simple. They are asking you the pair of similar angles, and therefore this pair and this pair is similar. COD, COD, and AOB, AOB. They are similar. Now once you have proved that they are similar, they would be asking you about the ratios of the sides. Ratios of the sides always have to be the corresponding sides. Always remember this. You can also write this as 1 and 2. So my first pair is OD upon OB, OD, OD upon OB. This is a single line. OC upon A, OC upon OA. These are my double line. CD upon BA, CD upon BA. This side and this side. This is my this side. So the answer of part B. Part 2 is A. The third they are asking is ratio of the sides of the similar triangles. Okay. Now, see, what you need to understand is that 8 upon 16 is 1 upon 2, and 8 upon 16 is this side. So the ratio is 1:2 because they are similar. Each side would have the same ratio. So the ratio of the sides of the pair of similar sides is 1 upon 2. So the answer is B. Now, using the ratio of sides, find the value of x upon y. Now, just try to understand how can you do this question. See, this would be 1 upon 2. If this is 1 upon 2, so 5 upon y plus 3 would be equal to 1 upon 2. You solve for y, you will get the value of y to be 7. So y is done. Now this upon this, that is x minus y on 11 is 1 upon 2. Again you solve for x, you will get the value of x to be 6.5. Therefore C is the correct answer. Question number 24 was not very tough, but interesting question. Let us go through this. Let's zoom a bit. Yeah. So two cars X and Y use 1 liter of diesel. Two cars X and Y use 1 liter of diesel to travel X kilometer and X plus 3 kilometer. Now, when you look at this question, just try to understand that Y travels X plus 3 kilometer with the same amount of petrol, diesel. But X is only able to travel X kilometer. So this is a good performance vehicle. Good performance. With the same amount of petrol, it is able to run for more number of kilometers. This is the information. Just remember this information. Now, number of liters of diesel used by a car X. So let us try to understand this. So basically what he is saying is that for X kilometers, petrol used is 1 liter. For 1 kilometer, the petrol used will be 1 upon X liter. But both the cars are traveling the same distance of 72 kilometers. So for 72 kilometers, X would be traveling using 72 upon X liter. 72 upon X liter. I hope it is clear. Let us look at the second part. Second part, again the same logic runs through the second part also. Number of liters used by car Y. So again, for covering X plus 3, he is using 1 liter. The car is using 1 liter for 1 kilometer, for 72 kilometers. So B would be the correct answer. Now, if car X uses 4 liters of diesel more than car Y, yeah, of course it would use more liter. Why? Because its performance is low, and that is what I was trying to tell you in the beginning of the question. Its performance is low. That is why it will be using more amount of liters. So therefore my equation would be from the first and the second part. This would be my equation. So once I have this equation, then in the fourth part he is asking amount of diesel used by car X. Now one thing that you need to do once you have this equation is to divide both sides by 4 so that you have this easier equation to solve. And my suggestion is not to solve this equation, because see, what you can do is you are given these choices. Just put these choices in this equation and you can easily find the answer. So for example, luckily when I put the first choice itself, the 6 itself, so 18 upon 6 minus 18 upon 9 is equal to 3 minus 2 is equal to 1. So the first choice itself satisfies the answer. Okay, now here's the last question, and that is why I had spent some time explaining you how this formula works. Sorry. So this is my maturity amount, this is the principal that I deposit, this is the interest amount. We discussed this in the beginning of the paper. So see, 2000 is the interest that he has received. So this term, the third term in this equation, this has to be equated to 2000. Put the value, we need the value of P, put the value of N. What is N? N is the number of months. In 2 years, you have 2 into 12 months, so this will be 24. So put this value of N here, solve for P, and you will have the answer. Great. Now try to understand that he has deposited 2000 is the interest that he has received. How much is he depositing each month? He is depositing rupees 1000 each month. For how many months? It's 24 months. So 24,000 is his principal. So this is the principal, 24,000, and the total maturity amount would be 26,000. This would be the maturity amount. So second part is done. Amount received on maturity. This is what I was telling you. This is the 26,000, the maturity amount. Then again, if you look at part 4, again doesn't require much of calculation if you are smart enough to understand how the equation has to be solved. So the monthly installment is 100. So this is my P. Rate of interest is 8%, which I have written here. How many months? I have to calculate for N. My interest is 52. Basically, this is my third term. What is my third term in the main formula? Let me show you. This is the third term. This term gives the interest amount. This gives the interest amount. So I'm using this. I'm calling this as a third term, and I'm using this. Now, what I'm suggesting is once you put the values, this is what you will receive. Again, see, either you can solve this equation that n square plus n minus 156 is equal to 0. You can use, this is a quadratic equation, you can find the value of n. But what I'm suggesting is that if you look at this carefully, then n into n plus 1 has to be equal to 156. See, 18, if the answer is 18, then this would be 18 into 19, this would be 30 into 31, this would be 12 into 13, this would be 6 into 7. Now, if you multiply 18 into 19, the last number would be 2, so this is not the answer. 0 into 1, the last number would be 0, this would be the answer. 3 into 6, the last number is 6. Yes, there is a 6. 7 into 6 is 2, so this would be the answer. So what I'm suggesting is, if you look closely at this equation, the only n which will solve the problem would be 12. Because 12 into 13, if you multiply, your answer would be 156. So this is one of the trick that you can use. Otherwise, you can solve the quadratic equation. So this video would be uploaded at is equal to classes Shivang. You can look at the other videos that we have uploaded here. We uploaded a lot of MCQs for ICSE class 10th, and we also keep uploading a lot of questions from class 8th, 9th, 10th maths and science. So these are the various playlists which are there. I hope most of your questions were correct. Thanks for watching the video.